Nothing of major importance seems to be going on initially. Jacob is there with his 11 sons. And speaking as only a parent can. Why do you look at one another? You know, I guess each of us have our own little colloquial phrases that we use. Jacob cannot imagine that these 11 able-bodied, fairly intelligent children are going through a famine. It is obviously known that there's food in Egypt, and they continue to just hang about doing the ordinary stuff while food is scarce. Just in case they don't know, he shares with them, hey, there's food to be had in Egypt. Why don't y'all skedaddle? Go down, buy us some food that we might live and not die. All y'all go down. Well, you know Benjamin, except for you. You're going to stay here. Because after all, that's all I have of my precious Rachel. I don't want any harm to come to him. I'll protect him at all costs. The rest of you, go down, buy us food, and bring it back. Just a very subtle nuance I want you to notice, that this chapter starts out speaking of the sons of Jacob. And it's already switched here by verse 5 to the brothers of Joseph. Prepare you for what's about to happen and what is coming. In verse 6, now Joseph was governor over the whole land. He was the one who sold to all people of the land. And Joseph's brothers came and bowed themselves before him with their faces to the ground. Joseph saw his brothers and recognized them. But he treated them like strangers and spoke roughly to them. Where do you come from? He said. They said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. And Joseph remembered the dreams that he had dreamed of them. And he said to them, you are spies. You have come to see the nakedness of the land. They said to him, no, my lord. Your servants have come to buy food. We are all sons of one man. We are honest men. Your servants have never been spies. He said to them, no, it is the nakedness of the land that you have come to see. And they said, we, your servants, are 12 brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is no more. But Joseph said to them, it is as I said to you, you are spies. By this you shall be tested. On the life of Pharaoh, you shall not go from this place unless your youngest brother comes here. Send one of you, and let him bring your brother while you remain confined, that your words may be tested whether there is truth in you. Or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies. And he put them all together in custody for 3 days. What a story. I want you to imagine Joseph's life for a moment. I want you to put yourself in his place. You're sitting on a mini throne, second in charge of the greatest country on earth, Egypt. There's a worldwide famine going on. Everyone is hungry. Only one nation has food. You. Your primary job is to take care of the food source. Therefore, you know you have everyone all around the world coming to you for your grain. And that's your normal day. Then lo and behold, one day, this small caravan of 10 men come before you. They look familiar. You're sitting up there on your mini throne, and you have all your servants around, amongst them translators. And this group of 10 begins to talk. But you understand them. You know exactly what they're saying. And in a twinkling of an eye and a snap of a finger, you recognize them. It's been 13 years. Well, it's been more than 13 years. It was 13 years between them selling you to the Midianites and you ending up there, and the time you met the baker and cupbearer. And then there were the 5 good years of plenty where you stored up all the food. We're not talking 18 years. And most likely at least a year of famine has passed, because people don't get real excited and freak out immediately. Well, they do if snow's mentioned in this part of the world. So we can imagine we're somewhere 24 years removed from having seen them. But you recognize them. You had just named your one son Manasseh. For God has made me get over all of my hardship for my father's house. You would put that all behind you. And now here is, I'm not that good at math, 5/6 of your father's house in front of you. Don't you have questions? Don't you want answers? And I mean, you got them live. They'll do whatever. They need something from you. He treats them roughly, Scripture says. That just means he made them squirm a little bit. Most dignitaries will if you're visiting their country. They're not actually there to be the welcome wagon. They say we're here in the land just to buy food. The famine's bad in Canaan. And we have a father and youngest brother back there. Joseph accuses them of being spies. Why? Well, that's as good an accusation as any. See, he wants to keep the conversation going a bit. He's trying to get some more information. You have come to see the weaknesses in our land because you want to take all that we have and use it as your own and sell it to the world. No, 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 we're not spies. Can you imagine how you feel as the very brothers who stripped you and threw you into a pit and then sold you into slavery says, we are honest men. We're not told that Joseph grumbled. We're not told that he started thinking, yeah, you're honest men. What'd you tell Dad when you went home that day? We don't have any of that. We're all sons of one man. No, 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 you are spies. But there's 12 of us. Well, there were 12 of us. The 10 you see before you, and we have a younger brother at home. Technically, this is the first time they mention him. They give in and let him know about Benjamin. And there is one that is no more. Can you imagine Joseph? Can you imagine the range of emotions running through? You find out that your family's okay, and yet here they are, the very ones that literally sold you out. Joseph again accuses them of being spies. But he says, you know what? I can give you a test that'll prove to me that you are not spies. Oh, did I fail to mention when they came in, they bowed down to him? I mean, you do that with any dignitary that you come into, right? If you go over to England and King Charles is standing before you, you're going to do what's customary. You'll take your little bow and he'll probably do his little bow and all's good. But here's the important thing. You remember what got Joseph sold? Yeah, I dreamt you all bowed down to me. You dreamer. What Joseph has seen is coming true. Why? God is still present. But back to the test. Here's how I'll know you're not a spy. We'll find out if there is truth in you. As Pharaoh lives, I'll let one of you return home. You bring your younger brother to me, and I will know you are men of your word, and I will trust that you are not spies. Now, if I were a questioning man, I would say, how does that prove they're not spies? I don't know. I don't think Joseph was really concerned about the spy situation. He just wanted to see his mama's boy. He wanted his full-blooded brother to be in his presence again. He wanted to make sure things were well. Because he knew how these 10 had treated him. Verse 18. On the third day, Joseph said to them, do this and you will live, for I fear God. If you are an honest man, let one of your brothers remain confined where you are in custody, and let the rest go and carry grain for the famine of your households. And bring your youngest brother to me, so your words will be verified, and you shall not die. And they did so. Then they said to one another, In truth, we are guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the distress of his soul when he begged us and when we did not listen. That is why this distress has come upon us." And Reuben answered them, "Did I not tell you not to sin against the boy? But you did not listen. So now there comes a reckoning for his blood." They did not know that Joseph understood them, for there was an interpreter between them. Then Joseph turned away from them and wept. And he returned to them and spoke to them. And he took Simeon from them and bound him before their eyes. And Joseph gave the order to fill their bags with grain and to replace every man's money in his sack and to give them provisions for the journey. This was done for them. Then they loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed. Joseph gives them 3 days to think about the situation. 1, 2, 3. As they're sitting there, they're probably deliberating which one of us should go home. Because originally the plan was 1 go home and the 9 stay. But on day 3, Joseph extends mercy and grace to them. Kind of changed my mind. We're going to hold one of you and the rest can go home. And if you are who you say you are, you will return to your youngest with your youngest brother, and I will release your brother who I will take prisoner. As would probably be the case of any group of us, if we had gotten together for 3 days and we discussed a solution to a problem, then all of a sudden everything we knew changed. Probably start to talk quickly amongst each other. They thought it was safe. Joseph's had an interpreter with him the whole time to translate whatever's going on. They had no reason to believe he understood them. See, this is because what we did to Joseph. Reuben speaks up. "I told you not to harm the boy, but you wouldn't listen to me." All the while Joseph is taking it in. So now here comes the reckoning. Joseph understands. And he remembers. And he has to turn away because it's raw. Still hurts. He composes himself. And he says to his servants privately, fill their bags with grain. Give back all the money that they have brought to us. And give them enough provisions for the trip to and from. And it was done as Joseph said. And 9 of the brothers loaded up their donkeys and made their way back to Canaan. Now, we tried to see this story from Joseph's viewpoint. I'd like you to look at it at this instant from the oldest son, Reuben's. Last time Dad's favorite child was involved with something with the rest of us, I came home without him and had to explain it. I mean, he's the oldest son. He's in charge in the absence of dad. It's his responsibility. Now they go down into Egypt and they're going home with provisions. Simeon's no longer with them. Seems like every time they head out and Reuben's with them, they lose a brother. And now they have to go back to Jacob and say, they're going to keep our brother Simeon until you let Benjamin go down. Benjamin. The last tie to his beloved Rachel, the one that he loves. Kind of sounds a little familiar. I remember a story, well, I guess it was several months ago now, where God came upon a servant of his and said, I want you to take your son, your only son, and I want you to go up Mount Moriah, and I want him as a sacrifice. Abraham took his son, his only son, the son he loved, the son of the promise, the one he waited 100 years for. Abraham would withhold nothing from God. How will his grandson do? And as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder in the lodging place, he saw his money in the mouth of his sack, and he said to his brothers, my money has been put back. Here it is in the mouth of my sack. At this, their hearts failed them. And they turned trembling to one another, saying, what is this that God has done to us? Now, you see, wouldn't y'all be excited? Wouldn't y'all be excited if you left today and you went to a car dealership and you gave them a big honking check to pay for the car outright in full? I don't know, what is that, $30,000 today, $35,000? And you give them the check and they say, oh, great, paid in full. Here's title to the car. Here's your car keys. Have a great day. Says your name. They clean it up as they do. You go and get in, you sit down, you open up the glove compartment, and there's your check. Wouldn't you be excited? Wouldn't that be a great thing? Well, you see, it would be a great thing, but you're dealing with another country. What happened? Are we going to get blamed for this? Are they going to think we stole the grain and we stole our money back? When they came to Jacob, this is verse 29, and when they came to Jacob, their father in the land of Canaan, they told him all that had happened to them, saying, the man, the Lord of the land, spoke roughly to us and took us to be spies of the land. I'm going to throw in an editor's comment right here. While they relay the story to Joseph, they change it ever so slightly in just about each statement. Either the order or the intensity of it. But we said to him, we are honest men. We have never been spies. We are 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. If you go back and read it, they actually say it in the exact opposite order. They lead with, oh yeah, we have another brother back in Canaan, and one I don't know what's happened to. And kind of makes them look a little bit better in front of their father. I mean, they didn't sell out the youngest brother like that, at least in their story. Then the man, the Lord of the land, said to us, by this I shall know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers with me, and take grain for the famine of your households, and go your way. Bring the youngest brother to me. Then I shall know that you are not spies, but honest men. And I will deliver your brother to you, and you shall trade in the land. As they emptied their sacks, behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when they saw their father, and when they and their father saw their bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob, their father, said to them, you have bereaved me of my children. Joseph is no more, and Simeon is no more. And now you would take Benjamin? All this has come against me. Then Reuben said to his father, kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you. But Jacob said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is the only one left. If harm should happen to him on the journey that you are to make, you would bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol. Joseph has prepared the deal. I'm going to hold on to one brother. You go get your other. You bring him back. I know you're honest men. I'll release him. We'll take care of everything. Some might wonder also if Joseph isn't saying, have my brothers changed at all? Are they willing to let one go by the wayside to save themselves? I mean, I'm giving them enough grain to get home. Even some for the family back there. Will they let Simeon rot in prison to escape themselves? Or have they learned something? Have they become better men? And they get home to their father, Jacob. And Jacob is almost crushed by the story he hears. Nothing they say or do brings him any joy. You notice that? They want Benjamin. And whatever smile he had when meeting them disappeared. And they're keeping Simeon until they get Benjamin. Falls a little flatter. They open up to give him the grain, and there's all the money. And it looks like you robbed them. But Dad, you can have it all back. All we need to do is take Benjamin down, and the head, the man of the land, will release Simeon and Benjamin, and we'll all come back and we'll live again as one big happy family. Now, Jacob answers that and if they keep him, it would take me down to Sheol with my gray hairs. Our translation, over my dead body. There's so much going on here. This chapter would make a great action film. Climax, teetering. Does he? Doesn't he? There's a brother. He understands everything. The 10 brothers don't get it. They don't know who they're dealing with. Blockbuster. I've just given to you, Tom. It's all yours. Run with it. Behind the scenes, God is weaving an incredible tapestry. God's presence remains with Joseph. Joseph knows it. Joseph is living it. Joseph goes out of his way to be gracious to his brothers. Here's all the food that you need, and here's your money back. Yes, it was intentional. He told the servants to do it. It wasn't to set him up. It wasn't to blackmail him. It was to bless them. He desires to see his brother again. He wants to make sure he's okay because he knows his brothers told a story to his dad about him. I mean, they couldn't have told him the truth. He wants to see if they've grown, if they recognize the wrongdoing that he heard Reuben admit to. I told you not to harm the boy. Have they learned anything? Will they let harm come to Simeon? And Joseph realizes that through the hardships of the last 22, 23 years, that God was behind it all to bring physical salvation to the Hebrews. Their very existence depends on getting food, and here he is in a position to save. He's also looking at the depth of their spiritual growth. Will they stand up and do what's right? Will they be honorable men? Will their word mean something? And will they be able to see God working through it all? You know, in our day and age, I hear an awful lot about belief in God. Do you believe in God? Most people will go, yep. I mean, if you were to ask the 10 sons of Joseph that went down to Egypt, do you believe in Yahweh? Yep. Jacob? Yep. Definitely we know Joseph would say yes. But you know, church, ready for this? When the rubber meets the road, we need more than belief. There needs to be a trust aspect. There has to be eventually an obedience aspect. No, our obedience doesn't bring us to Christ, but because we're in Christ, we become obedient. Where's he going with all this? Here's where I'm going with it all. Would you trust God enough to send your son to Egypt? Figuratively. Or would you find every excuse in the world to say, I'm not comfortable with this? Knows that word particularly, specifically? Ready? God doesn't care if we're comfortable. Why? Because he knows he's in charge. And if he's in charge, he can move the pieces as he needs to, provided those who claim to believe in him trust in him. Church, do you trust him? Do you trust him with your time? For Joseph, it's been 22, 23 years. Do you trust him with your relationships? All Jacob can see is the danger, not the blessing. Why? Because he's seeing through his frail, feeble human eyes. But you see the world like Joseph through God's lens. Do you trust him with your treasures? Do you know that he's in control, that he's sitting on his throne, that he can handle any problems that come down the road, regardless of what your financial institution might say? And the one that would change everything. Do you trust him with your life? He calls us his child. Do we trust him enough to call him Father and obey him as There are a lot of places around, there are a lot of people around that will say, yes, 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 I believe, I believe, I believe, but you would never know it based on their life. Church, be the change that you want.